So let's begin. Let's go with our panel. So as I said in our chat, because information for our attendees, we have a group that we were arranging this meeting, this panel. So I'm really excited to be here with all of you and with my dear colleagues from Venezuela and from Philippines. Why I'm excited? Because this is the topic that really changed my life, really. And this is the topic that maybe I got fall in love in my profession. And that CEFE, and everyone with that, what is that CEFE, what is that? But maybe I fall in love maybe in the behind what is CEFE, that is experiential learning, so the practice behind it. So my name is Jovan, Stalevski. I come from Macedonia, the new name North Macedonia, but still we are friendly, we are saying Macedonia. And I'm leading organization here that is occupying on promoting entrepreneurship and building competences in the society in experiential way. So as I mentioned a bit that I felt in love in this methodology. Why? I must say, hearing the other panelists from before, there was one panel from Estonian colleagues that they were saying about the need, the students or the pupils that are dropping out from school. So almost I would be the one of them before 15 years. Because I love economies, I love languages, I love networking, I love to work with international people, I love practice. And when I went in the faculty, I was a bit, let's say, frustrated. Why?
Hold on, we cannot hear you now.
Yeah.
We lost your sound.
We cannot hear still. No, still we cannot hear.
No.
Can you try it again?
Now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
I don't see here that I'm muted. I don't know why. So I don't know what part did you heard from until so let's check who was hearing.
There you go.
Okay, I was just saying that through the meeting, the people who are like you, like my colleagues, that was giving me motivation to continue my studies and also to upgrade myself into the education education field. But before, well, like it was in the formal school, only the presentation and nothing practice. I was really frustrated and I was really, let's say, abandoning the formal education, and I was looking for something to happen to me, to enlighten me, in order to continue with my studies or upgrading myself. So luckily, in 2009, I met trainers. I met trainers in one business incubator where I was working in my town, and those are people who taught me and who presented me all my faculty in a simple way, in a practical way. We say in Macedonian in
Hold on. Sorry for disturbing again, but your voice is
Your
really...
sound. We are losing your sound.
Yes.
No, nothing.
Let's try to mute and unmute again.
Better.
There you go. There you go. Put the microphone.
Maybe
Yes.
it's
Okay.
maybe it's a holiday here, and people are at home and watching Netflix, watching series. So the internet connection is slow. I don't know. So I just was sharing my experience of what happened to me in my life and in my profession in order to pursue with career that I'm doing now, like a trainer for experiential learning and a person who is helping people to open their business or to expand their businesses. So that is my short introduction. maybe my colleagues from the panelists can say also about themselves few words, and we will continue with the session. Who would like to start? Maybe Angie?
Thank you, Jovan. All right, so I'm Angie Ressurreccion. I work in the Philippines. I had a school. We have a school for kindergarten up to grade 10. And I worked there as a volunteer. I founded the school more than 30 years ago, and it has trained about 4,000 students. I'm also a trainer of entrepreneurs, and we have a small business training entrepreneurs.
Great, thank you. Rene?
Yes, I am Rex. I learned about an experiential method in 1979, and I have been using it for 46 years now. So I used it in the academy when I was a professor, and then I used it in the corporate world when I worked with a multinational company, and now I'm using it in my consultancy business. So I have found experiential method a wonderful method. So I understand why Jovan is in love with experiential method. Up to now, he is still single because he is married to experiential method. So that's me, that's Rex.
Okay, yes, this is like a promotion. I'm single. Thank you, Rex. And our colleagues in Venezuela?
Hi, nice to meet you. We are Juan and Laura from CEFE, Venezuela. We started working with CEFE as a methodology to develop entrepreneurs and intra-entrepreneurs since 2015. That means 6 years ago, when we started working with those colleagues from Chile. Actually, our master trainers came from Chile. And from that date, we haven't stopped doing everything we do with CEFE. And it's been a pleasure for us that see that a methodology based on experiential learning, it's given us so much positive results when we see the positive changes and the evolution of the people that we train.
Juan will say a few words about yourself, or Laura?
Here the women are the chief, so oh, thank you to be here. I'm really glad to sharing with you our experience in this side of the world. We will speak about our successful history doing CEFE between experiential learning. So this is a very pleasure for us.
Thank you to all for accepting this and to be with us. So just like introducing for the attendees what will be the session about. I will start now to give some credits and to explain what is the CEFE. Someone to know what is it. Then we will see how the experiential methodology and learning is developing the corporate world. Then we will speak about how it is, like, because today we saw in the panels that there are many universities, many civil organizations, many, let's say, formal schools, but we will understand from CEFE Venezuela how it is to run a self-sustainable business or experiential learning center and making impact in their societies by your own money. And at the end, we will learn how it is to implement experiential learning in developing enterprising competences among our future, among our children. So Angie will introduce us with how it is to implement experiential learning in the high school and primary school. So let's abbreviate.
Again, we cannot hear you. Jovan, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, now
Do
it's
you hear
okay.
me?
Yes, now it's okay.
You see my screen, right?
Yes, experiential learning
This
development
is our,
of entrepreneurs.
this
Yes.
is our topic, experiential learning in development of entrepreneurship, and we're delighted to be on this congress. And so this is the CEFE methodology, how we see, and these are the logos of our today partners: CEFE Philippines, CEFE Macedonia, CEFE Venezuela, and our international, let's say, partner or network, CEFE International. So what is that? As you see here on the picture, this beautiful lady from Brazil, and if you see in the map of the world, there are red colored states. So there are the states where this methodology is introduced, and it's already 30 years giving results. And the results are what? Impacting the development of economies of these countries, where this map it is. So what is CEFE? It's abbreviation of competency-based economies through formation of enterprises. So in the essence of the methodology is the entrepreneur, so the person who will open the enterprise or who will pop up the enterprise. And we believe and we see, let's say we face every day, if the entrepreneur is a competent skills with competence to run successful business and sustainable business, or maybe initiative that gives value to society, if we have, let's say, more and more of the population in one country competent entrepreneurs, tell me, aren't it economy that country will be competent in the world map? So that is the philosophy behind the CEFE as methodology. And how that is done. CEFE is promoted by many trainers, consultants, promoters. So these are the beautiful faces of our colleagues around the world. And how it's doing, like experiential learning, as I said, is the essence. Like some of my attendees on the trainings, they're like, oh, thanks God we don't have now here someone that are preaching to us or presenting to us. Thanks God that I can experience how to calculate my my money in my business, or thanks God I can experience how to set up my goals maybe, or how to product something that I need, or how to test my idea on the market. So everything which is done on the trainings are done by experiential way. So it is following the experiential learning cycle, as you know it. Maybe probably more of the people who are here know that. And what is the impact of that methodology that I said already 30 years is giving results in the world. It's making impact in the world. So this picture here that is shared on your screen, it's the fields, the fields in which the methodology gave best results, and how we measure if we are doing something okay in this world, or if we are just losing our career. So let's see what are the numbers. Firstly, the CEFE methodology is impacting the employment generation, like generating employment, not generation like youth. It's impacting the growth and creation of businesses. It's impacting the unemployment reduction among participants, and it's impacting the most important livelihood, the families which are affected by the participants that are coming on our trainings. So let's see, impact on business creation. So these are the facts and numbers that CEFE International was conducting on a sample of participants on our trainings. So maybe like 500 participants in all around the world. This survey was 2 years ago or 3, I don't remember still. So it was contributed to 45% of all participants that were on our training started their business, started their own initiative, like a sustainable business or social or whatever. So that means it counts of 6 million startups, but startups not a technical one or IT one that we are known, but starting up a company around the world. And that is, we called accountant that CEFE directly contributed to creation of that 6 million startups. I can also say from my experience when I was working in the business incubator and now in CEFE Macedonia, really people who are coming on our trainings, maybe not immediately after a 5-day training, they're opening something, but from 1 to 5 years after that, we see the results. Either they're leaving their workspaces and starting their own something, either they are starting for themselves. So this is an impact on business creation, impact on employment generation. So imagine you are going in one training, and each participant that was on a CEFE training, average was contributed to 1.4 new jobs generated in the economies. Yeah, for example, if we have 20 participants, yeah, maybe 5 of them open their businesses, but they employ by 5 people. Yeah. So dividing the number of participants in one room, we say that 1.4 job place was added by participants from our trainings. Yeah. And in total, like counted in the worldwide, in those 30 years, CEFE contributed to the creation of more than 18 million additional jobs around the world. 18 million. Reduction of unemployment, which is measured by how was before coming to the CEFE course and how it is after, maybe after 1 year or maybe after 1 or 3 years, let's say. So, for example, if unemployment, if we have half of the participants unemployed that are coming on a training, after the training, like some time, that unemployment rate dropped to 8.7. And I'm really witness on that. Because people are networking between themselves. People are put it in the experience. They are knowing how to do. They are more motivated. They're more inspired. They're more self-initiating to do things. So that's why this number is very high. Okay, and livelihood, as we said, those like each participant on CEFE courses, let's say impacted or supported 3.2 family members or friends. So for example, if I go on the CEFE training and make something with myself, with my career, with my life, that also impacting my family. Yeah, maybe my friends or someone that maybe I employ, maybe I give money, or maybe I pay for the education or whatever. You understand, right? So this is the great numbers that we are talking about to give credentials. And for the end, probably whoever been to experiential training, this is the atmosphere, part of the atmosphere, what is happening. So sometimes when I'm explaining to people what you are doing, I said, do you know how to play darts? We play darts. And by that, we are teaching how to run company or how to make risk manage. Or if we play football, Angie is smiling. We learn about cash flow, which I was having a subject of 600 pages. Or if we produce something like envelopes, and we are learning about financial management, which I had 1 year in the faculty, and I understood in 2 hours. So that is basically what we're doing. So this is the presentation. Hope it's a bit it's more clear now, and I would ask now Rene to continue with the session to present to us how, because I presented numbers that it's impacting the business, it's impacting the employment generation, high return of investment. So Rene, can you please tell us from your experience how the experiential methodology and CEFE methodology impacted the corporate world, please? You're muted, Rex.
Hello, Jovan. Thank you, Jovan, for inviting me to this conference. I'm very honored. I'm really excited to talk about this because just like you, I'm also in love with experiential. So let me show you my slides. So my topic is the use of experiential method in corporate training. Another title is how to develop businesses with the use of experiential training. So as I mentioned already, I have been doing experiential method for 46 years now. I learned it in 1979, and then I joined CEFE in 1995. So I find it a revolutionary method. Everywhere I go, clients and participants say that this is a wonderful methodology. There is no boring moment. That's what they always say. There is no boring moment in my training program. The advantage is they always think that I'm a dynamic trainer because I use experiential method. So every trainer I know, if they use experiential method, immediately there is a reputation that they're so dynamic, they're so flexible. That is the comment of our clients. So a research by McKinsey and Company in the US found out that only 25% of respondents in their 2010 survey found that training improved employees' performance. It is very hurtful because they said much of training seems to be worthless. Why? Because they use the method. They use the boring method. They use the one-way communication method. So in traditional training, the research person is the source of information and the participants are only listening. They're passive. And the subject matter that is being taught by the research person are theories, or the application is years later. So there is low transfer value in the real corporate world. So many companies feel that the training that they are investing in has low return on investment. So, some of them feel that it's a waste of money because there is low transfer value of the lesson in the traditional training towards the real corporate world. But the beauty of experiential training is you transform the training room, the classroom, into a microcosm of the real corporate world. And if the experiential exercise is well designed, they can actually duplicate or they can approximate the real corporate world. So therefore, there is very high transfer value of the lessons learned. There is high transfer value to the real corporate world. So the client feel that there is high return on investment. They say, wow, this is a program that is worth investing in. That's why in my experience, when I use experiential method, there's a tendency for the client to invite me again and again and again, batches after batches after batches, because they feel that my methodology is very, very practical and useful in the real world. The way I see experiential method, it's like a social laboratory. It is like a scientific experiment. So the participants are the subjects of the experiment, and they're also the scientists who are observing what is happening in the experiment. So the participants are both the subject and the scientist performing the experiment. So the experiment is the experiential exercise or the business game. And then observation, they ask questions, what, who, where, when, how did it happen, why did it happen? Analysis, they find out the cause and effect. If you do this way, this will be the result. If you don't behave this way, this will be the bad result. So they see the relationship of good behavior towards good results. and then they come to conclusion. So what is the lesson learned? What is the hypothesis? What are the principles of marketing, the principles of business? They attain wisdom. In the conclusion, they attain the objectives of the game. And then in application, they are guided by the resource person to come up with action plan and to commit to implement the lesson in the exercise. So one of the most in-demand programs that I do for the corporate world is called intrapreneurship program. Intrapreneurship. So this is training corporate people to behave like entrepreneurs. They are employees and they remain employees, but we train them to behave like entrepreneurs, very resourceful. They find ways to solve problems. So what is the difference between an entrepreneur and an intrapreneur? An entrepreneur is someone who identifies opportunities, takes calculated risks, and builds companies, builds enterprises. But the intrapreneur is someone who identifies opportunities, they take calculated risks, and they create profitable projects for the company. So the intrapreneur is a high-quality employee. He is an employee, but he is a high value added for the company. So he is a champion employee. So just last week, I invented an online game because the client asked me to do a financial literacy program for the trainers of farmers in the Philippines. So we want to teach them about financial literacy. So I made a simple game. So I divided them into groups. In round one, they brainstorm for 5 minutes. What are different ways to increase your income in an honest way? So they brainstorm, and come up with many ideas. In round two, I asked them to brainstorm for 5 minutes. What are different ways to decrease your expenses? And then, depending on how many ideas they generated, the more ideas, the more income they have in round one. The fewer ideas, the lesser income they receive in round one. In round two, the more ideas they generate, the lesser their expenses. The fewer the ideas they generate, the higher their expenses. So the result is income less expenses is equal to savings or debt. So the winner is the group of people with the highest savings. So it's a simple game, but we do it through an online platform. Another game that I invented is called the Banker's Game. I did this for a multinational company in the Philippines in March this year. So I divided the participants into 4 banks and, 8 clients. So I serve as a global bank. I lent money to the 4 local banks and they lend the money to the clients. The 4 banks compete to serve the 8 clients. And the 8 clients operate businesses. Some become profitable and some lost. And the 4 banks try to recover the loan that they gave to the clients. And then I, the global bank, I now ask the 4 banks to pay me back at the end of the game after 3 rounds. So the bank with the biggest profit becomes the winner of the game. So the bank, these are experienced bankers, but they said the game is so realistic and it's very competitive. They said that is the real world that they're operating in. I have other games like the Entry Farm game. We train farmers to become entrepreneurial. The Entry Farm game is like a national game in the Philippines. Our farmers are being trained by our government to play the Entry Farm game to change their mindset. So there are 4 modules. Module 1 is basic entrepreneurial farming. Module 2 is negotiation and cooperativism. Module 3 is processing of farm products. Module 4 is livestock production and exporting. So the business of the farmer gets more and more complicated. So the richest farmer group after 4 modules becomes the winner. I have other games like the Entry Fish game for fishermen, the Entry Power game for urban poor, the Entry Sock game for government officials, the Entry Craft game for handicrafts makers, and 100 other games. So my challenge to our participants is, if they want to revolutionize their teaching and training, I challenge them to use the experiential method. Thank you for listening.
I don't see the reaction bar here, so that's why where are the reactions really? I don't see them. Never mind. Thank you very much, Rex. And I was also a participant of Entre Farm in the Philippines and here in Macedonia. And really, I love the game. And I must tell you that we are also pursuing that idea to make something here in Europe, something like with Entre Farm. But we will talk. Okay, thank you very much. Can we have please CEFE Venezuela, Laura and Juan, about the Juan and Laura, as I announced, how it is to run a sustainable business for experiential learning. So despite the public money, the donors' money, how to run it by yourself and how to find market. Please, you have your 10 minutes, 15 maximum. Opa, we don't have. Or maybe we can, Angie, can we go with you maybe until Venezuela?
Yeah, until we come back. Yes. All right. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon for you. It's an honor for me to be here. Thank you, Jovan. Shall I proceed, even if they are back? Yeah, okay. So I am going to share with you how we use experiential learning in schools. This is what really makes our school unique because we introduce entrepreneurship from kindergarten. So can you imagine, in my work at the university, I used to train adults for business, but I realized that when you train adults, it's too late. You should really start them young. So this is what I realized. So have you observed how children are very enterprising naturally? You know, when they are very young, they are confident, they believe in themselves, they are able to speak to people without fear. But you know, the moment they go through school, the moment they go through school, everything, the confidence goes away. Something happens in schools. You know, they are trained to obey, not to question, not to be original, but just to follow the authority. And this is not being enterprising at all. So when you train adults to become enterprising, they have forgotten how it was like to be a child. So as a trainer, I used to spend a lot of time doing games with adults, training them to become like children. So I realized it's better to go to the children and then train them to be prepared for enterprise later on. So I believe that schools should take enterprise education seriously, not only because we need entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs create wealth, they create many jobs for people, so they are job creators, but very important for educators is the value that enterprise education offers to keeping children in school. Enterprise education, experiential learning is a way for them to see the relevance of school. So at the school where I work, we train the children to, to, to duplicate the many secrets to success that other people like themselves have gone through. Now, the context of our school is that we are operating in a squatter community. The school originated there, and through time, we have developed many poor people who have conquered poverty. So we have case studies of those. And so from their experience, we culled a few principles that we use in our school. Now, one thing that we realized was that the many challenges to introducing children to enterprise, our first challenge are the parents, because they think that a school is supposed to teach academic subjects, literacy, numeracy, mathematics, science, not to earn money or not to be about working, you know, like entrepreneurs. So we have to correct that in our own way by putting up a school that follows that principle of academic discipline, but at the same time see the academic discipline, the relevance of that to life. So I believe that in school, children learn not only academic subjects, but also a worldview, a way to view the world, a way to act in the world. And they learn it not only from teachers, but they learn it from everybody. So one of the first things that we really believe in our worldview at the school is the value of godliness. We teach that intentionally because we believe that entrepreneurship is moral. So what we do is we ground everything on the moral aspects of entrepreneurship. So because we believe in experiential learning, we don't preach. We make the children experience it, the meaning of godliness. And Jovan knows this is a great value in the Philippines. We value spirituality, but many people in my country are very spiritual, but also very corrupt. So they have a separation of the material from the spiritual. So in our school, we make the children experience that to be spiritual, to be godly, is to be really honest and to really exercise the values of Christianity. We are a Christian school. So for example, to make them experience godliness, we make them, you know, anything that they like. So children, normally they like bread. So we make them bring bread. And so bread in my country is a little bit controlled. So every piece of bread is 250, 250, 250. But some bread, they are bigger than others. So there will be a 250 bread that is small, a 250 bread that is big. So we make them come up with analysis. How come this is small? How come this is big? And what does it say to you about the entrepreneurs behind this bread, which gives you, you know, less value for money? So who among them would be godly? So if you are an entrepreneur, if you want to sell, so because we have many selling experiences, so you have to give people value for money because you are godly. Something like this would be the theme of our experience. The second thing that we emphasize in our worldview is citizenship. Now, many people don't like entrepreneurship in schools because they think we are teaching materialism. But actually, if you think about it, an entrepreneur who is very materialistic and does not think about the community will soon lose money. He will not be a successful entrepreneur. So we make them experience that. And because the children are poor, we make them experience business. We start with teaching them saving. It's citizenship because you cannot be a good citizen if you are always asking people for money. You know, you are the one receiving money. So we give them the worldview that for you to be a good person, to be a really useful person, you have to be self-reliant. You are a good citizen if you don't borrow, if you don't ask people for things, you don't just receive, you are a giver. So that is good citizenship. So we train them, no matter how small the money, we train them, we make them experience, dividing their small pocket money into 3 parts. 10% saving, 10% for tithing, 10% for spending. Yeah, so they always have money for saving. So saving, spending, and from the spending, we also train them to give because that is part of spending to give to people. So now they have a little capital to start a business. So when they do the business, now we can teach them what it means to be fair in what they sell and to not to be overpricing and so on. So that's part of citizenship. It's all experiential. The third aspect of our worldview, so now we have godliness, then you have good citizenship, the third aspect now is on the self, the spirituality, on the community, and then the self, which is now being enterprising. In being enterprising, we have three aspects again. Being enterprising is a way to work, and being enterprising is a way to face obstacles. Being enterprising is a way to grow wise with resources. So let me just illustrate to you how we make the children experience through two examples. So one way is to show you a video where we make school very interesting by walking the children through a process we call creative problem solving. So even little children, they know what a problem is. They face many challenges. And most of the time, the challenge that they have is they have no toys. So let me show you how we translate having no toys into a creative problem solving where we train them how to face obstacles. If you don't know something, you don't know how to make something, you research, you ask, you learn, and you investigate, and you use your literacy, you use your numeracy to know everything there is to know about the problem. So the creative problem solving runs in 12 sessions from November to February. And so I'll show you a video of what two things that the children did in order to face the challenge of having no toys. Can we show the video now? It's only 1 minute.
Shall I play it, right?
Yes.
Okay, just a second.
Okay, so there you have it. Grade 1 and grade 2 children, 7 to 8 years old, they can make toys for themselves and they don't need to buy. So we train them to do many things like this. At one time, their problem was having no money. So we solved them by coming up with many enterprises to earn money. Okay, so they also can come up with things to sell in order to help people in the community. So we have those kinds of projects. So one time we had a lesson about a widow. They didn't know the meaning of widow. So the vocabulary was learned and they made a research on widows in the community and they repaired the house of the widow by coming up with enterprises to earn money to help the widow. So this is how we teach, we connect the meaning of being a community-oriented entrepreneur, making a profit to benefit the community, but also earning for themselves because we always make sure that they get a share of the profit. So the teachers do not earn. So this is really how we make all the worldview very concrete by experiencing. So we view our enterprise curriculum as a social practice. We produce and reproduce a way to see the world, a way to interact with the world so that we are not losers, we are victors, and we are self-reliant people. So we face a number of challenges, just maybe 2 more minutes. In enterprise education, you face many challenges. Yeah. A culture of control exists in a typical classroom. We want to be in control, the teachers. And then we have this definition of who is a good student. We have to challenge that. And then teachers tend to dictate everything. So To do enterprise education is for the teachers to be learners themselves, to be willing to learn and to attack the problem as if they themselves as learners. They don't know how to make a remote control car. No teacher does. But there's knowledge in the community, and that's being enterprising. All right, let me end by saying this. We learn by doing because we do by learning. That's how we do teaching in school.
Thank you, Angie.
My colleagues.
To Rex for keeping the time. We heard, yeah. Super, very, very inspirational and powerful. And comment by one of them. And this, if they want to ask something, to pose that in Q&A. Now,
we cannot hear you again. Jovan.
do you hear me?
Yes, now it's okay. Yes.
So I invite Laura and Juan to tell us how to run sustainable experiential learning center.
Thank you, Jovan. Well, as I mentioned previously, before we lost connection, we are going to share a screen. We're going to show you a short video of one of the programs that we have developed. Just give me a second, please.
Okay, completo. Hi, I'm gonna start apologizing with you because I'm gonna do the speaking in Spanish. So Laura is gonna translate simultaneously because my English is not so good, but I think it's gonna be better like that. Are you hearing it?
Yes, we are hearing you. Just let's try to be on time. I bought 7 maximum minutes.
Yes.
For your session, but also for Q&A.
Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
sure.
There is a microphone open. Someone is.
Okay.
Okay.
You know.
There you go. Okay. La razón por la que muchos facilitadores de aprendizaje experiencial desertan, abandonan, es porque, digamos, no encuentran la manera de hacerlo sustentable.
The reason that the reason why many experiential trainers quit the purpose is because they don't find the way to make it sustainable.
Yeah. Y esa es la razón por la cual decidimos iniciar con este video.
And that's why
Decidimos iniciar con este
we
video.
decide to start showing you this video.
El video muestra un producto de muchos que nosotros tenemos en Venezuela, en CEFE Venezuela, un producto que va dirigido a parejas emprendedoras, que básicamente dura 3 días en la montaña y está dirigido solo para 10 parejas.
Yeah, the video that we show you is one of the products, one of the many products that we already developed here in CEFE Venezuela. It's called CEFE Camping Parejas or CEFE Camping Couples. It's a training dedicated to couples that develop entrepreneurs, that develop a business together. It's an outdoor training the last 3 days. It's like retirement for the couples, where they can find and evaluate themselves as individuals, as couples, and of course, as entrepreneur couples.
Y así como tenemos el CEFE Camping, tenemos otros productos como el Integrow, que es muy parecido a lo que mostraba Rex. Es un producto corporativo que va dirigido a fortalecer e integrar los equipos de trabajo. Tenemos la fábrica de soluciones que va a las corporaciones a crear ideas, o tenemos el entrenamiento, el TOT, el entrenamiento de facilitadores.
Yeah, as we show you CEFE Camping Couples, we also have products like Integrow, that is something very similar what CEFE was showing us. And we have also a solution factory that is dedicated to companies where their teams can
Create ideas.
Create ideas.
Y claro, ¿qué coincide? ¿Qué hace match entre un producto u otro producto? Pareciera muy evidente que fuera simplemente escoger el nicho específico.
Sí,
¿Qué coincide?
When
¿Qué hace
you
match?
see the products, it could seem to be pretty obvious that one thing that matches between those products is that we already defined the market niche that these products are going to be developed for.
Y si entonces queremos mostrar nuestra historia de éxito, mostrándole estos productos, la respuesta a que escoger un nicho específico es la historia de éxito es que no es esa. Nosotros venimos a contarles un poco de nuestra historia y cómo lo hemos hecho.
And if you want to show you and to share with you our successful story, by telling you that by defining the market niche is the base of our success, it's not only that. We are going to share with you what we already did in order to have this success that we already have with CEFE.
Y acá conectamos con la razón de ser de nuestra participación. ¿Cómo hacer de un negocio basado en aprendizaje experiencial algo sustentable, algo exitoso? Que es la razón por la cual muchos de nosotros que estamos acá hoy abandonamos probablemente lo que amamos hacer porque no conseguimos que sea sustentable.
Here we connect the reason that why we are here presenting you this is because we find that ¿lo último que dijiste?
No, sí. We connect, here we connect the reason of our presentation because many of us that is watching right now around the world quit what we love to do, that is doing experiential learning for different groups. The reason that we quit normally is because we we don't find a way to make it sustainable in the time. So right now we are gonna tell you some steps that we were doing in our successful history to do our experiential learning business here in Latam without donors' money. That's the important thing. So here we come. Primero, escoger una historia de éxito y apegarte a ella. Nosotros, what?
It was good in English.
so not so good.
Okay.
But okay.
Yeah.
I will try.
Yeah.
I will try, Jovan. I will try. So first of all, we found a successful history in CEFE International in Germany. The point that get nos une.
Gatherers.
Yeah, the gatherers is CEFE International. Is the experience 30 years and more. So the first step is find a successful history that you can be part of. Yes, that's the first thing. The second thing is create a network. So create your own network of facilitators or of partners. Then you can do business, not only you and not only your wife or not only your husband or not only your partner business, but like right here in 5 years, we have more than 100 CEFE Venezuelan facilitators. So right now, we are running many programs at the same way, but Laura and I no estamos obligados a ejecutarlo.
Yeah, we are just checking the evolution of the programs and our partners or CEFistas that we already trained that are part of that network that Juan was mentioned. They are the ones that are developing the trainers.
Yes. So the first step in our successful history is choose a successful history, then create your own network. The third one is create a love mark. Create a love mark that people love to use your t-shirt. You can see my t-shirt here that says CEFE Venezuela. Our facilitators here love to use this t-shirt. When they use this t-shirt, they feel big. So the third thing is create a love mark, yeah, and protect it.
They feel like they're being part of something bigger than doing trainings by themselves.
Yes.
Branding, yeah, like making a brand.
Yeah, brand. Yes.
Yeah. Then create the products. Create a specific product. More specific is more good. Yeah, very specific products.
Like CEFE Campo Couples.
Like CEFE Campo Couples. Yes, that's example. The fifth one is you have to invertir to invest in your brand. You have to believe and invest in your brand. So then the success is gonna como caer en sí mismo, como result, pues. It's gonna, I mean, tenemos que invertir y.
We have to invest in your mark, in the mark that you are developing. That means that you have to do some PR process, marketing, make the mark, the brand trustful.
Yes.
And that means that it feels to be proud to be part of not only of the network, but it's proud to use the brand itself.
Yes, and then be careful about the quality. That's the sixth thing. Be careful about the quality. Many people do experiential learning in the world, And so many people do CEFE in the world. We are like 22,000 facilitators CEFE around the world. So you have to be careful about the quality. If you do for free, be careful about the quality too. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the training is paid or is for free. You have to maintain the quality and maintain the standards. So that's something that will be like an added value of the training that you develop, and going to make the difference from other trainings that are on the market.
Yes, and the last thing, and I think this is the resume of all of the others that I was talking about, is to being an entrepreneur facilitator. So we think that's the
key point.
The key point. Yes, that's the la principal razón, the principal, the main reason that people fail here doing business in experiential learning is because they study a lot how to be a very good facilitator, but they don't study and they don't practice how to do a very good entrepreneur. Entrepreneur in the world of the experiential learning, in the world of facilitating, and that's the key point. So you have to be a good entrepreneur, and you have to prepare for it. That's the successful history that we have. We have 5 years making our history here in Venezuela, but in Colombia too, or some points in the United States too. Right now, we are expanding the business right now with our partners that we were talking about before, or connecting. Just to finish connecting with the network is a key point too. Right now we are running a project that Jovan maybe is going to tell you at the final, but como seguro is for sure that is going to be starting with this project. We are going to do more things in the future, and that's the vision of entrepreneur. Not just right now, but in the future too. So thank you very much.
Very good and on point. Yes.
Very good English.
Thank you.
Yes, and I must encourage you a bit, because I know that you speak English. Yes, thank you for sharing. I just want to ask you very quickly, what is your, let's say, business model? Where you get money? Only from the subscription from the trainers, or you do also like trainings to companies or something? What is your sustainability model?
Yeah, we're currently the people that wants to get trained by CEFE pay for the trainings. Okay, it's like a private model. And when we work with companies, with big companies, they provide the materials and the logistic terms, but they pay for the project. But the things that we have been developed for the last 6 years, we haven't received donors money for something like, for example, GIZ for here in Venezuela, it's not currently available. So that means that everything that we have developed here in Venezuela, it's paid in a private way.
Yeah, and we go to corporate too, like Rex.
Yeah.
We have clients in enterprises. We do entrepreneurship like Rex was telling you about too.
Yes. Yeah, I'm asking because also CEFE Macedonia, we have 2 streams, and maybe the one stream that is I feeling that it's making us a bit in the comfort zone are the donors' money. Yeah. So we have like 50-50, something commercial services that we are giving to the corporates or to institutions who are hiring us to do some service, and the other stream are the donors' money, the projects and stuff like that. And sometimes I can say that it's a welcome, yeah, and you can experiment, you can add value to your services. But sometimes it's a trick that keeping you in the comfort zone and not letting you to release your full potential. So I'm very glad that we have you here in this panel, because and I think my majority of the attendees that are can find this helpful. So just to conclude, thank you also about your points on what to focus if you want to have sustainable experiential learning business. Thank you to Rex for enlightening us how to promote maybe, or how to give value to the corporates in order to satisfy their return of investment, the higher one. And thank you very much to Angie that is inspiring us how to deal also with parents, but also how to make our kids more entrepreneurial. And I have here one question. As a preschool, I'm very interested in entrepreneurship in schools. Here we have from Tuba. As a preschool teacher, I'm very interested in entrepreneurship in schools. As Angelita says, it also related to citizenship. To me, this curricula contains many ingredients such as citizenship, education, value education at school and kindergarten. This is not only leading being a good entrepreneur, but also being a good and lovely human, I guess. This Congress was lovely. Thank you all. Okay, so this is more like a conclusion. Ms. K. Peterson also says, thank you for this wonderful presentation. Thank you for participating in it. And I think I had, there is a, from Alexandra. I know this lady. She was a teacher of the year in Macedonia and is my friend. I'm a chemistry teacher in primary school, and I'm very interested in how I can incorporate entrepreneurship experiential learning in the chemistry curriculum, because I think that in the way I will successfully explain my students why it is so important to learn and how they will get valuable skills for real life and jobs in the future. Oh, Angie already answered it. Oh, there is a conversation here. I will not read everything. So does someone from the attendees want to pose a question? There is a Emine Bilge. Can you post your question, or maybe, I don't know if you are able to ask in live. The technician maybe will help me. Honestly, I don't know if Emine can.
I can help.
Yeah.
Do you need?
Yeah, please.
A minute to talk. Let me just. A minute. Okay, let's talk. Yes.
Yes, Emine is here. Yeah. Emine, feel free to ask your question or comment.
Emine, eğer çevireye ihtiyacın varsa destek olabilirim. I said if you need a translation, I can help.
Thank you.
Merhaba.
Merhaba.
Ben yeni katıldığım için yani kongrenin sonuna doğru katıldım, yani konuşmalarınızın. Yani o yüzden şu anda bir sorun yok da yanlışlıkla yaptım. Herhalde el kaldırma şeyi vardı, oraya bastım.
Okay.
Keşke şu anda yeni başladınız herhalde. Yani daha doğrusu herhalde bitiriyorsunuz kongre görüşmeyi.
Evet. Tamamdır. Çok...
Keşke daha önce başlayabilseydim. Birazcık ara vermiştim de, yani konuşmaların sonuna denk geldim. Çok teşekkür ediyorum, yani hani böyle bir olduğu için. Kolay gelsin diliyorum.
Teşekkürler, çok sağ ol. she has just joined here, so it was a false like clicking on the button, so it was not a like question, so it's okay.
We're glad that heard her voice, and we know Merhaba, it's a good afternoon, right? Or hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Does someone else has?
I can open chat. Maybe if they want to say thank you or anything, we can do this. So everybody, yes, it's open. It will be just, yes, it's open now.
Maybe I will just for end. Maybe I will ask our guests, panelists, what you recommend for the future of experiential learning in one sentence, maybe. What are your maybe occupational or vision for it? Angie, Rex, Laura, Juan, Rex, yeah?
Yeah, with this lockdown because of the pandemic, it is really a big threat to experiential method, because normally we do experiential method live, face-to-face meeting and discussion. But the good thing is I discovered that we can also invent online experiential games. That's what I discovered. So I want to venture more into online experiential games. So there's still a future if we will use creativity to produce online games.
Yes, we agree with Rex that's the big reto,
It's a
big challenge to do experiential learning online, or we thought that before pandemic. Right now we have a good practice about it, doing an adapt of CEFE methodology online. We are working on it, but right now 6 months later we have a good practice. So the future I think it's gonna be like a blend. It's like blend one. You maybe you are gonna be physical presentation, or maybe online. I think the future is gonna be blend.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I think if you really believe in entrepreneurship and also for children, it's very good to also connect with your Department of Education so that they will know that experiential learning is a better way than the traditional way to teach children. And secondly, that it should be possible to re-educate the parents, because they have left the responsibility of educating to the schools, when in fact it should be the family that should be the primary teachers of children. So
very interesting and very on point advice. Yeah. So once again, thank you, and I will conclude just hearing your presentations and reading the comments and thanks from the attendees that we are taking this in consideration, and in the future I will be very glad that I will work with you and also with the organizers of this Congress, Turkey, Mustafa, Volkan, all the team that they are. And from 1st of November, we are starting a project funded by Erasmus Plus program of the European Commission to build capacities of our centers, Macedonia, Philippines, Venezuela, Turkey, Bulgaria, and Uganda in Africa, on these topics that we are discussing now. How to spread experiential learning in primary schools, in high schools, how to make sustainable experiential learning centers around the world, and how to be profitable, and how to give services to the corporate. So thank you once again. Thanks for all attendees and for this Congress. And have a great day and have a great life, everyone.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.